Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. I want to put this sword, Arclight, inside this hole. But I need an Amulet of the Damned. And so, we are setting off on a very typical Iron Man series of things to get to the last thing you actually want to get to. We need to get the Amulet of the Damned from Shades of Morton. But we're really going to need Pyre logs in order to actually get the keys that can open the chests that can have the amulet in it. And for that we need 65 firemaking. So I'm going to go train firemaking at wintertime. But since I'm not 10 HP, I'm going to need some food. And it would be pretty awkward, like world hopping or anything between every single game to go buy a bunch of potatoes at the Warriors Guild. So I'm just going to bring the food with me. But to do that, we need noted food. There is a fire at wintertime that we can cook on. So noted raw food will work too. So we're going to Temporifs. It is a trio of minigames / skilling bosses. And it's going to work fine. The setup is very simple here. Full angler for the fishing experience. Graceful cape for the tiny amount of extra run regeneration and negative weight. And Arclight, because I can't get rid of it. That's the whole point of what I'm doing here. And we can just hold it in our hands. So that's fine. Just going to be doing this all in Mass Worlds, because that's easy enough. And we can get everything that we need once we get to the island. A harpoon, a hammer, a rope, all easily available right on the boat. For inventory space purposes, I don't think I'm going to worry about getting any buckets. So we just have to rely on everyone else to fight the fires. We still do have the room pouch and the looting bag in the inventory, because those are quite difficult to get rid of at this point. Definitely worth keeping around. Although I did get rid of the lunar staff, because we can just buy that back when we need to. So we start by just grabbing some fish, or even fishing the fish. We're using the harpoon, not barbarian fishing. Could be barbarian fishing. Do I have that unlocked? Not sure. I have to figure that out. That might give like other XP. Either way. Harpooning the faster fish when they show up. And then a wave. So we tie off, so we don't get swept away and lose all the fish, because that'd be no good. And then we can finish up filling the inventory. They are already heading over to the boat, and we'll be getting there eventually here. We did spend a little bit of time at the beginning of this round picking up the stuff, so we're going to be slightly behind on getting the fish here. That's okay. And here is the fire. Fantastic. Anybody stand in the fire? Nope. Very good. And then we just need to take the harpoon fish, bring them up to the boat, Everything's gonna be great. What do you want to know about? No harpoon. I'll definitely go into check to make sure I can actually barehand harpoon before I just drop the harpoon somewhere, and then that's just problems. Tie up. Very good. We can also be on the lookout for broken masts and totem poles to get a little bit of construction XP. Not that more construction levels are all that useful right now for us, but still, nice to have. 99 would be pretty swell. Not a huge priority. Everything else we can just basically just boost. That's why we got this level. So we are getting closer here to the first time where we can attack the whirlpool. So we'll go do that when that pops up. Bare hand. Temporosis don't roll. Yep, here we go. And we attack the spirit pool. All this is fishing experience. All over the place. Very good. We could also get the barbed tail harpoon if we didn't already have something we were wielding that could save an inventory space. So, I think we're going to try to see if we have bare hand barbarian harpooning, because that would just be useful. Save the inventory space, and we won't need to worry about losing the harpoon. Let's go over here, see if we unlock that. We did not. All right, I can go do that. That'd be a good idea. Shouldn't be too difficult to unlock barbarian harpooning. Although we have gotten rid of most of the stuff in our inventory, so if we need anything in particular, it could be slightly problematic. Wave. Yeah, probably gonna just end up doing a bit of Temporos here. Get enough credits stored up, we get decent stacks of fish, and that'll work. Want to get all the fish onto the boat before everything gets lost, so before the game ends. I think we're gonna be a little bit pressed for time on this one. Either way, Temporos is not a difficult minigame. Or skilling boss, whatever you want to call it. We're just gonna go throw these fish in quick as we can. Really not going to like try the solo method or anything. It's just very easy on the mass worlds. Maybe we get some fishing levels out of this, depending on how long we stay around. And there's also a lot to be said of just getting nice big piles of fish available that we can claim. Not that we can particularly get high level fish yet with our fishing level, but it's definitely a start. 4 permits and a combat task. Combat task, because we were full angler. Sure. Let's go see about this barbarian training. We had already gotten the first part of barbarian fishing, using the barbarian rod over here in the lake. So we should just need to talk to Otto here and ask him more about the fishing here. I used the rod. It worked perfectly. Then he tells us about the roe and caviar inside the fish. That's more useful for the herb lore section, so don't need to worry about that right now. Now we can ask about harpoons. Just don't use harpoons. Just wiggle your arm around in there, and you're good to go. Very easy. Very good for catching sharks. Amazing. I am going to go and arm harpoon a tuna or something first, just to make sure it's unlocked. But that should be all we needed here. Can confirm. Strength XP. 10 strength XP for every fishing. So that's something. This was a slightly strange game, since there's only like 5 or 6 people here. So I needed to go grab the water buckets since there wasn't enough people getting rid of the fires. But there we go. We got 5 permits that time. Nice. There is a combat achievement for repairing the mast. Also get construction XP. Fun. And Master of Buckets combat achievement for dousing 5 fires. Again, we got a small number of people here, so fires are an issue. Oh no, it spread on top of me. Well, we failed that game. Looked like half of the people were AFK, so that did not help. That did not help at all. My goodness. My goodness. Temperos. Novice. That is 5 successes. So that's good. Up to 22 permits now. Going to do a bit more. Because why not? Fire in the hole. Basically, you need to fire all 4 cannons. So that means you need to run around the island to get onto the other ship. Very, very easy. Which is fair, because it is an easy combat task. 69 fishing. Getting fishing levels at the fishing boss. That checks out. And now we're Temperos Champion. That's a bit much for just killing him 10 times. But that's okay. And that'll be enough for now. Now we can grab our rewards. Not these buckets. Not a rope. Not a hammer. 45 total pulls here. Looking for stacks of fish. Spirit flakes. That is a collection log slot. Probably not going to get enough to upgrade the angler. And then even if we did, we wouldn't be able to get it back out of the house until we finished all of it. And we would also have to have the rest of the angler set on us at all times until we get to that point. So probably not. Probably not gonna do anything with these. Also getting some planks. We could go get a little bit of construction experience, I guess. A bunch of nails. Not too useful, really. Tons of salmon. That is a little bit too low for Wintertide, I think. So probably just going to put those away for a bit. We can cook them later. Only a few more pulls here, and we're done. Alright, let's see what we get in the caskets. Ruby necklaces and sapphire necklaces. Okay, those will be alked. Don't need feathers or fishing bait or the spirit flakes. I don't think there's much else we could do with the spirit flakes currently. 50% chance of an additional catch. No additional XP though, so we could go fish some trout and salmon even faster than normal or something. Not really too necessary. And they're not worth anything for high alking either. Got some planks we really don't need. Some steel nails. I guess I'll go use the oak planks for something. And alk the jewelry. And then we can decide how many fish stacks I'm bringing to Wintertide. The setup for Wintertide, pretty simple. We're using the Clue Hunter outfit, 4 pieces of it, to get the maximum warmness to decrease damage. We still have Arc Light, which is still what we're all doing here. But we need an axe. Steel axe is just as good as any higher level axe, but I'm going to need an axe for the next thing we're doing anyway. So rune axe it is. I'll just drop those coins. Inventory space is again somewhat of an issue here. We've got fish, we've got the axe, we have a knife, tinderbox, hammer, room pouch and looting bag. So what we need now is food, which we can easily get while we are at Wintertide. Here's the fire, and also there's other fires all over the place. But we don't want to fill the entire inventory with food. That'd be wasteful. So instead, we make some space used up as much as we can. And even that's probably too much. So if we empty the room pouch, we can get some lobsters out and then cook the lobsters on the bonfire. Another possible idea here would be cooking gauntlets, so we don't burn any of the food. But this will probably be fine. Another thing we're going to be doing is using quick prayers, rapid heal. It'll help a little bit. We burnt 2 here. We could probably get away with slightly more. We will see how many food we use per game here. And since we're using prayer, every game we will teleport back to the house to recharge the prayer. Yeah, maybe not every game, but we'll see how it goes. Ultimately, we got a decent amount of food here. I stored the tuna and salmon. Just gonna cook those later. But this should get us at least some distance in here. So we will see. And here we go. Fun Wintertide game. Get some XP just at the start for lighting the fire. With our limited inventory space, it's going to be a lot of running back and forth. But for the most part, we're not going to be wasting any time. There's also the option of not fletching to technically get more fire making XP. But we can get more points and stuff going this way. So that has its own value. Still going to be getting stuck in the snow, get hit off, so we stop doing things. That's okay. We need to be slightly careful here, of course, because we do not want to die. But we have enough food, we should be fine. Definitely going to be eating up plenty. No reason to risk anything here. Then we chop more logs and just run it back and forth. Keep the HP nice and high. And we can turn on rapid heal. As much as that's going to help. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. There's also opportunities to get some construction XP when the razor gets hit. We also need to be aware so we can get out of the way for that. Because when it gets hit, we also get hit. And that's no good. Ultimately, we really don't need points either. Because that just gets us more stuff in the crates. And then, what are we going to do with that? We don't really have much looting bag space either currently, so it's a whole thing. We will see how we do. I'll probably end up just stacking a decent number of crates before we open any. Well, except for this first one. Might as well. There's gonna be lots of stuff in there of dubious value to us at this point. It seems like we're going through a decent chunk of food here too. Our fire making is not very high, and that also scales the amount of damage you take. But it's a start. It's a start. Overall, Wintertide is not difficult at all. So we should be able to manage. If we get 750, it's a good start. Totally missed that coming down. But we did get the Highwayman task for doing that. Handyman, not Highwayman, whatever. But yeah. And we're just going to chuck the logs in here at the end. We also need to be pretty quick about it, because there's only so much time between games. That is cozy, and can we fix it? We had 4 pieces of warm clothing, and not all the braziers were broken at the same time. So, that's something. And we get some ores and rubies. We're probably just going to end up just dropping basically everything every time. Unfortunately. It's an idea. Then we cook. And then it's back in again. We will see how far this much food gets us. 62 fire making. We can burn blisterwood logs and put them in an abyssal lantern. Also, I've turned on redemption here. Just in another safety in case things go poorly. We also have the Ring of Life, so I feel like those would probably overlap a lot. But it's okay. Oh, there's a lot of people in the way here. For inventory's sake, I'm just going to open the crates every game. Most likely, everything's just going to go on the floor. But if we get like a unique or something, that could be worth it. Here's some money. Some Harlanders. Yeah. I'm not sure. 63 fire making. And there is Wintertide Novice. 5 games. 64 fire making. And that will be the last game. 10 KC for Wintertide Champion. And 65 fire making for the Cave Goblin, Mining Helmets, and you Pyre Logs. This was pretty annoying. Having to take off the armor to get the correct amount of inventory space, to cook the right amount of food, and not get in at the beginning of the game. Dropping all the stuff. We got some warm gloves. Oh boy. And also got U logs, which is actually going to be helpful here. Overall, not a big fan of Wintertide with this setup. Would need to get something else going if I ever want to do more of that. So, for now, no more of that. Can we store the warm gloves? Not here. How about the magic wardrobe? Cool. Warm gloves are technically not part of the Pyromancer set, so we can take those out whenever we want. Yay. So we still have all this raw fish, so I'm going to go and cook all that. This time, actually with the cooking gauntlets. Ain't that an idea? Inventory emptied. Ish. And now we can get the stuff out of the looting bag. It's very full again. Very full. But first, 65 fire making was also 1700 total level. So that's a fun little milestone. And now we step out into the wilderness, destroy, and pick up so many things. Technically, we don't have inventory space for all this stuff, but we can just wield the D-hide, and then we're pretty much golden. Up, up, up. There we go. Of this stuff, I really don't need to loop half of a key right now. And worst case scenario, we can just end up going to Gorax again. So, I'm going to say goodbye to that. That out for anything? 60. It does not. And that's okay. We also have 2 different types of darts now, which is something. There's a lot of range AFKing. And I'm here for it. I'm gonna go get another looting bag. And then probably just continue cooking the rest of the tuna and salmon we have here. Just to save some space. Seems reasonable. There is 69 cooking. For nothing. We already did the big cooking level requirement by boosting. So this is just levels. That's okay. And there's all the fish cooked and thrown on the floor. No reason to keep it, because we can just buy potatoes. And that's just so much better. But now we are ready for Shades of Morton. Well, we need to get equipment. But besides that, yes, we are ready. But we can't just skip to killing the shades that we need to. We need to get a key to get to those shades. And also another key to get to those shades. It's a whole system. Generally, though, we need some olive oil. And we need to go get some sanctity over here at the temple. The first 2 levels of shades can be burned on normal logs, which I can chop right here in Morton. So all I need to do is get these olive oils ready to go. Then we can make progress on that. Also going to need at least some of these lower remains. This amount of potatoes and cheeses is not really necessary right now. But it's a start. We need to get this up at least a bit. Also, there's a max hit splat. That's a thing now. Ain't that fancy. It's very convenient that there's a world for this. Keeping the temple up works really nice. So we are the lower remains, the lower level of shade. 2 doses of sacred oil per regular log here. And what we need here is a singular key. And there it is. So now we can drop these, because we don't need those. And we can head inside the shade tombs. Bronze key, Ren, gets us to the fringe shades. And so, this guy's almost dead. We will fight these next level of shades here in order to get the next levels of keys. It's a whole thing. We're only going to do as many as needed, since we can save the sacred oil for even higher level shades. But that's generally how this works. Get to the next area, get the next key, get to the next area. And we are high enough level here that we can actually make some progress on that. Something interesting to get would be the locks. So we get the backpack thing that can hold a bunch of shade stuff in it. Not entirely necessary, but it could be nice. So now, we burn the fringe shade, and only money. That's also a possibility here. So we can't be too surprised. And money again. Now we need a log, which is easily accessible. Very convenient that this second level here also uses normal logs. We are looking for a steel key. Perfect. And now with this, we can go through the next set of doors to get to the next levels of shades. It is a whole process here. But as long as you don't accidentally use all of your X level keys, you can still get back in. So we can now use this bronze key to open this up. We got a bunch of nothing. But now we have the steel key, so we can go through the steel door and fight the Ryle shades. These ones require a higher level log, namely willow. So what we're going to need to do is go get willow logs, use the oils, come get the remains, and start the burning. So I'm going to go get enough sacred oil to dose up the correct amount of willow logs, go get the willow logs, and then come back. And coming back is slightly problematic, here. We have the Shades of Morton minigame teleport once every 20 minutes. But then beyond that, we kind of need to take the fairy ring up into the hollows, then run to the boat to get over here. I could set the Barrows teleport in my house, but I'm a little low on cash for what I want to do after this, so we're just going to run down that way whenever the teleport's off cooldown. It'll be fine. 8 Ryle remains to burn. Looking again for the next level of key, and there it is. The red level of keys are lower than the brown, so ideally you would keep the lowest level version to not use in a chest. And there it is, black key red. This also gives prayer experience, which is pretty cool. See if we get any levels from that. Looks like we're in the ballpark of 100 shades in order to get a prayer level here. So we will see how many we end up needing to burn here. But I'm just doing all of the Ryle shades, even though I didn't really need to, since we already have the Willow Pyre logs, and those aren't usable on the next level, unfortunately. So we're going to take all these keys and go get loot from all but one of them. See if we can get some interesting stuff. First up we have the old key there. We got the steel locks. Alright. Interesting. Possibly useful. Possibly useful. Then we also have 2 steel key blacks, which we can open here. We get the flame tier bag and some steel stuff. Steel stuff from the steel key. More likely than you think. This is our first time having the flame tier bag. That was a interesting way to train construction. But we did mahogany homes instead. These all crimson. Yeah, these are all crimson. We need the brown and red rooms. Here's brown. Black key. Black battle axe. No surprises. And some death runes. Not bad. Another crimson room. Black key, brown room. Black key, red room, please. There we go. Black plate legs from the black key. Black spear from the black key. And the black locks. Alright. We are getting this whole thing going, aren't we? So this is an interesting proposition. The locks. Could make this a little less annoying. Less inventory space used. Or more inventory space to use. Something like that. We have the black locks, which is obviously better than the steel locks. And the gas right here, keep destroying my food. Hilarious. So let's get this guy to give us this fancy coffin. Shade remains. Go in the coffins. Broken coffin. Just add a lock, and you're good to go. Yep. Black locks. And there we have it. Nifty. The gas are really being annoying here. So if we look in here, it's open. We can configure it. It's got 0 of all the different shades right now, of course. So we can just get a whole bunch of stuff in there. Interesting. And now that we have the black key red, we have access to the shades that we're looking for. So we can just head back in there right now and get some. The black coffin can store 14 shade remains. We can look at them by checking the shade count. We have a lore in there. That's not right. So with 14 in the coffin and 1 in the inventory, that is 15 spaces available, which matches perfectly with 15 oily logs. Only annoying part is that we're going to have to individually unnote the U logs, then drop the vial and unnote a U log. I mean, it's still faster than chopping U logs, but a little annoying. So we can get all these and head back to burn acid remains. The coffin is also slightly awkward for the actual burning step. We will get to that. We have 15 of these remains. They each give 80 per XP. And a bit of fire making speed too, so that's something. So we need to configure, empty, acid. If we get coins, that'll also free up an inventory space and make it slightly faster because we can take out 2 at once. But there is the silver key red. So that's going to be our new key for opening all the doors. And the silver keys are exactly what we need. So, empty coffin. Take that. Because we can only get the Amulet of the Damned from the silver keys. So all these black keys are unfortunately just going to be some loot. But that's okay. So I'll open all these, and then we can go and get some loot. Starting with the old black key red. We get another flame tier bag, sure, and some willow logs, which we have very much gotten past at this point. We also get some other black keys from these shades. So crimson, get some mithril stuff, some nature runes, black stuff also, and something noted. U-logs. Nice. I'll take that. That saves me some more having to woodcut. So I appreciate it. Then we do have a purple key here. That's over here. Black purple key. Gets us an Addy Mace. Oh boy. And now we need to head over to the area with silver keys. Out some stuff on the way. Might as well. A decent amount of alchemables. And since we're at the higher keys now, it's going to be mostly usable alchemable stuff. Or at least decently good alchemable stuff. So we got 4 red and 2 brown to open here. Using the crimson. Also out of run energy. That's okay. We're not going to be killing the fire shades here, because we don't have the fire making to make the magic logs that we would need. We did get a hard clue scroll and a fine cloth there, though. My goodness. And another fine cloth. Yeah, we can make some split bark here, probably. Make sure we don't use up all the keys here. And there's the Amulet of the Damned. Alright, done. I mean, now that we have that, I guess there's no reason not to just use the last one. We're done here. It's over. Alright, what can we do with 2 fine cloth? That's the next question. I think what we can do with 2 fine cloth is leave. Alright, yeah. Amulet Damned. Done. Didn't even need the rest of these U-logs. That was very easy. It's not really rare from those keys, but still, that's nice. That also means we don't need the coffin anymore, so we'll get to that. But can we do this hard clue? That's what I want to know. Turns out, yes. Yes, we can complete the hard clue scroll. Not gonna complain. Let's see what we get. 3 rune kite shields, a rune axe, and some purple sweets. Fascinating. I literally already have a rune axe, so I don't need a second one of those. And as for the rune kite shields, I've got a dragon square, so that's not too necessary. Lots of alch money, though. Not gonna complain. Upon further review, rune kite shield, actually very useful. So that is going to be also going in a stash unit. And it was highly unlikely that we could store this right now, but we can. But also, going to get some inventory space here. Going to burn the yew and willow logs. Right here in Bedrock. A great spot to fire make. It would have been better if I got in more fine cloth. Vampire, get out of here. Because the only thing we can make with this would be split bark, boots, gloves, and helmet. Vampire's trapped now. We just need 2 bark here. Then we can go and turn this into a helmet. Anywhere, just go. Let's go. That was a medium task, doing something here. Chopping the bark? I don't know. Either way, now that we can actually click on things and access the fairy ring without being attacked so much, we can come over here to the wizard's tower and make a split bark helm. The items required for storing the split bark inside stash units are a little bit hard to come by right now. We would need either a rune heraldic helm, dragon boots, or a boater. But the one with the boater would also let us store the dragon square shield, so maybe we will come back to Shades of Morton sometime in the future. For now, though, I'm just going to get a helmet I really don't need. It does not have good stats whatsoever. So that's not why I would want it. But I can store it in the house and not get it back out, of course. But here we go. 1 split bark helmet. Stuck in here. Forever. Most likely. And now, for the stash units we actually can fill. Here, in the Shazian command tent, an elite stash unit with a RuneScape shield that we just got from a hard clue scroll, a mystic robe bottom purchased for 80,000 coins, and a Bob's shirt, one of the very, very few clue scroll uniques we have. We can store them right in here. And there is a +4 boost in construction. Build the Master Stash. And in goes the Amulet of the Damned and Arclight. Once we set the bank pin. Okay, now they go inside. So that is stored. Fantastic. We're going to drop all the rest of these. And the Karambanji. Any of that. And that is the last thing I needed to store there. We can put our cat away. We can put the death runes in the looting bag. We got this rune axe, which we can do whatever with. How's the looting bag looking? Fullish. We're going to deal with that later. But we can store the void. We can store the Slayer helmet. We've got a lot of options here. And we're going to need all the inventory space we can get, because we're doing some dangerous food requiring situations. Grand Master Quest. Monkey Madness 2. We got the Slayer level we needed. Finished up all the things that happened because of the Slayer level that we got. And now it's time. Next time. Goodbye.